In the twilight of her life, Winnie Madikizela-Mandela stood before a crowd that hung on her every word, her voice still fierce, her spirit still unbroken. The year was nearing its end, and so too was the journey of one of South Africa's most defiant daughters. Yet in her final speech, she did not speak of sorrow or weakness. She spoke of pride, of memory, of fire. Her words carried the weight of generations who had fought, bled, and dreamed of freedom. "We will sleep peacefully when we leave this world," she declared, her tone both resolute and tender, "because we know we have left custodians of the struggle in your hands." It was more than a farewell. It was a passing of the torch, a sacred handover to the young women who would inherit the dream of liberation. For Winnie, these young leaders represented everything she had sacrificed for: courage, voice, and purpose. Her speech transported her audience back in time to the days when South Africa was a prison without walls, a land shackled by apartheid's iron grip. She spoke of the women of 1956, barefoot and unyielding, who marched on Pretoria carrying babies on their backs, demanding dignity. "Even Nazi Germany," she said, "did not compare to what we went through." But it was not bitterness she conveyed. It was remembrance. For Winnie knew that to forget was to dishonor every tear shed in the name of freedom. The crowd listened in silence, the air thick with reverence. Here was a woman who had been beaten, exiled, and vilified, yet stood proud and undefeated. Her pain had become her power, her scars, her symbols of resilience. Then her voice softened, trembling not with fear but with emotion. She spoke of the young generation, of girls growing up in a world still haunted by inequality and despair. She lamented that, even after liberation, a young South African girl could feel so hopeless that she would attempt to take her own life. "What have we done to our country?" she asked, her voice cracking through the silence. "What have we not done?" It was not a condemnation, it was a cry for reflection, a plea for responsibility. Winnie reminded her audience that freedom without purpose was hollow. True liberation, she believed, meant protecting the hearts and minds of the young. As the crowd leaned in, she told a story, a simple, heartbreaking one. Her 5-year-old granddaughter came home from school and said that a boy liked her face, but not her kinky hair. That childish innocence laid bare a truth Winnie had fought all her life to erase. The poison of racism still lingered. Her eyes burned as she spoke. "We are still alive. We are still here. Do not continue provoking us." Her tone shifted from sorrow to fire, from tenderness to defiance. She warned those who dared to resurrect the demons of apartheid that the women of South Africa would not sit quietly again. "These people must not tempt us," she thundered, reminding the world that resistance was not just history, it was legacy. In that moment, the hall echoed with a fierce pride. Winnie Mandela, once called the Mother of the Nation, had transformed her farewell into a battle cry. Her words became immortal, a reminder that freedom is not a gift, but a responsibility. When she passed away shortly after, South Africa mourned not just a political icon, but the heartbeat of a generation. Her final message remains timeless. Liberation must live on through the courage of women who refuse to be silenced.